Aaron Shelley. I'm the Director of Cloud Solutions Engineering with Zayo Group. So Zayo is largely known as a connectivity company. That's definitely where Zayo began, where the roots are. And as Zayo went through acquiring more fiber network to be able to expand the offerings, as you're buying up and expanding a fiber network, you're inevitably going to start acquiring data centers as well. And as we began to acquire data centers, we began offering co-location as a service as well, and realized this is a very lucrative business to be in as well. So we began buying data centers along with targeting acquisitions for connectivity. And then inevitably, as you acquire data centers, you eventually begin to acquire cloud and infrastructure as a service offerings as well. And then the same process happened. We stepped back, looked at it, and realized this also is a very lucrative business. Not only that, but it's a lot easier to differentiate as you come further up the stack into co-location and then even more so into cloud. And so the decision was made about a year and a half ago for cloud to become really a strategic product group or a business unit for Zayo. And that's where some rather large acquisitions occurred on the cloud side, with the acquisition of a company based out of Colorado called Lattices, that in one acquisition doubled the raised floor square footage of Zayo, and then also just exponentially increased the cloud revenue as well as the capabilities and offerings around that. That's always the big question. You look at it and customers ask, rightly, how do you differentiate? What's different? It is easier to differentiate the more you come up the stack, but what it really boils down to is unless you've invented something, it's difficult to differentiate. We can't tell you that no one else can build a data center the way that we do. It might take them longer because we've been doing it for a long time, but it really comes down to people, policy, and procedure. Reputation, of course, falls into that, but we don't have intellectual property where we can say, well, no one else can do a cloud this way. We're using enterprise-grade gear, but anyone else with the right budget can go get it. So it really comes into the way you approach it. So, simple things like support. We don't outsource any of our support whatsoever. Everyone on the service desk is a Zayo W-2 employee. Our Tier 1 employees have certifications along the lines of CCNA, MCSA, VCP. They're people that, based on their qualifications, most companies and support organizations would really consider them to be Tier 2. And we don't have a call center where someone's following a script and you have to get through all that information before they can really help you. Our first touch resolution is 95 to 96%. So 95 to 96% of the time, whoever answered the phone, got the email, grabbed the ticket to begin with, that's the person that actually closed the ticket out, found resolution, the solution for the customer, and was able to move on from there. So that's a large part of where I would say we differentiate, is just on the people and the way we approach support. So disaster recovery is something most people don't want to think about, typically. It's kind of like life insurance. You need it, but you hope you never do. And it's something that we have a little bit of a different approach on. We actually partner with Zerto, that's here as well, and they have a very, very good disaster recovery application. It brings the replication out of the storage array and even brings it past the hypervisor up into the guest operating system. So at that point, everything below that is agnostic. It no longer matters. You can replicate from a Windows VM running on VMware on one side to a Windows VM running on Hyper-V on the other. It just doesn't matter. You can go from AWS to an infrastructure as a service provider. It makes it where cloud's a little bit less sticky, so there's a little bit less lock-in that customers have to worry about. But at the same time, by the same thing making it less sticky, it's making it far more useful as a disaster recovery tool, because it doesn't matter where you are or what you have, we can come in and help you add some risk mitigation to it, or just begin to get things in place that you really need to have in place that might not be there right now. So from a going forward standpoint, Say that a lot of what we see in terms of trends, it's going to be going towards hybrid clouds. And we're seeing a lot of customers where they're really finally getting to the point of realizing that there is no one size fits all, there's no one provider fits everything typically either. There's a lot that we can do because Zayo can provide everything from layer 1 through the guest operating system. And there's not a lot of companies that have that same breadth. But even then, there's things where we're not necessarily the right fit, or even if we are, customers are also starting to look towards wanting to have not only geographic diversity between production and DR, but also having provider diversity between production and DR. So looking a lot towards hybrid cloud setups in the future, with some things on-prem for the customer, some things in a true infrastructure as a service play, and then some things in a true cloud, public cloud or private cloud setting. So we're doing a lot of work relative to the ability to have cloud federation between public clouds, to significantly ease the ability to move a workload from one environment into another. I'd say that's the direction that a lot of the industry is going to be going.